Hello and welcome back to James Engineering. I wanted to take a moment to show you one of our pneumatic centers. So this is something that's been proven for the last 15 or 20 years. We've used a bunch of different sizes of these, everything from, a little pneumatic center to bigger pneumatic centers, and now we have about a half a dozen different sizes. So in the deburring world, we need to hold stuff a lot of times between centers so that we can expose the entire part and be able to do all in one ops, or in other words, everything in one operation. So a lot of times, like on a cluster gear, we want to get in and do all of these different sides right here without taking apart out, batching it, and running a whole nother operation. So for us, what we focus on is one and done. So we now see that there's a huge opportunity out there in the world for pneumatic centers. We've done a lot of research, and we haven't found too many top to bottom solutions out there. You could go to MSC or McMaster and you can find a live center. You can find a pneumatic clamp. You can find a base plate, but not often the same company sells them all, and very rarely can you find the entire system all together and buy it all at once. So what we've put together here is a super robust pneumatic center. We use a 3-inch ground and polish shaft. It's heat treated, it's chromed. We mount it on a super set of bearing slides so that it moves extremely freely. So I can lift this off it apart with one finger. I can put it back down on it apart. So this is not a light device. This is a fairly heavy device, but what we're doing is we're ballasting it so that the operator can load and unload super efficiently. So for example, you go into a machine, you got this inside your machine, you can lift it off with one hand, take the part out, put it back on, and bring it right back down again. Now, why do we do that? The reason we do that is because if you lift it off and it stays off, now you got a safety hazard. Let's say I just get my hand in there, and then let's say I clamp the clamp. Now all of a sudden I'm piercing my hand. So it's a real safety problem. So what we've noticed out there with a lot of pneumatic centers is they don't really give you the opportunity to set the part without actually clamping it. Even if you got a foot pedal, you're trying to balance it and get it before you clamp it. Well, how much easier is it to move it by your hand? So this is a really neat little device, super, super simple, but super robust. As you can imagine, in our deburring machines, we create abrasive dust, zirconia, silicon carbide, aluminum oxide, ceramics, all of these things, and this thing lasts for years in our deburring machines. It's not just a silly little deburring machine device. It's super accurate. So in our deburring machines, we can hold finishes to 15 millionths. We can do a true tangent to tangent radius. So we need something super precision, actually more precision than a lot of companies actually offer. We're giving you a complete solution, top to bottom. So what that means is we make the rotary table, we make the collet closer, we make the pneumatic center. So each is a modular component. So we have a whole bunch of different clamping systems, 3-inch through bore clamps, collet closers, static bottoms for just like a point without any closing mechanism. We even make the leveling plate for the rotary table so that you can dial this rotary table in and get it absolutely square and perpendicular to the column itself so that you can ensure that your part is also square and true. So one of the problems that we run into a lot, especially with deburring, but we also see it in machining, quality control, welding, and all of these things, is that you've got to get in and work on the part, and this is in the way. So this is not just for the CNC shop. It's for everything. Your imagination is the limit. But let's just say right now that you got to get in here. So we need to move this out and go back through this. Since we do all of this, we're just going to take all of this off and we're going to give you access to the top. But if we take this off right now, this is unsupported. So we're just going to take this and we're going to take advantage of the collet closer that we already have on there. So we're just going to take this out of here. We're going to exchange it with a 1-inch collet, which grips the bottom of the part. And now we can get the part in there just like this. So now that's really nice. So now you've got a really stable part sitting in there, and when you clamp it, you just can't move it at all. So now we want to get this out of the way. So we designed it to where you can just take this out of here. So now, once you clamp this thing, you can't move this part whatsoever. So we've got a really nice system, really rigid, and now you can do all of the work without the upper support. But sometimes when you're using a point or drive lug down here, you don't, the drive lug with the teeth on it doesn't give you quite enough grip force. So you might just use a collet closer just like this, but you may want the top back on there, so you can just go throw that back on again. So this thing just comes on and off super, super quickly and gives you the flexibility to do whatever the heck you want with this thing. So you can pull this thing off, you can pull the whole column off, but you can still leave the fixture in there. So now you have flexibility to kind of do what you want with it, and interchange or treat it like a set of Legos. So we think that this is a super flexible system that can be used, like I said, just about anywhere: welding, assembly, vision, inspection, a QC area, and probably a lot more ideas than we've just come up with now. So I hope you like what you saw.